What's up, y'all? It's Monday Night Football, and that means Monkey Knife Fight Contest. Here at Fantasy Alarm, we're running a Monkey Knife Fight video every Monday for the Monday Night Football Showdown. And tonight we have the Chiefs and the Giants duking it out. In a pretty interesting game, the Chiefs coming off a terrible loss against the Titans where they could get nothing offensively going, and the Giants coming off a great performance defensively against the Carolina Panthers, only allowing 3 points in Week 7. However, everyone on the Giants is hurt. They are getting 10.5 points from the Chiefs in a 52 total. And, the Chiefs happen to be Super Bowl contenders the last 2 years. So it's going to be quite the interesting game tonight. But before we get into the action, before we get into our plays, let's talk about the promotion being run over at Monkey Knife Fight for Fantasy Alarm. If you go to fantasyalarm.com/MKF and use promo code ALARM, you get a free $5 game plus a $100 deposit match with your first deposit. So anyone who hasn't deposited yet, anyone who hasn't played over on Monkey Knife Fight, use this video first off as your tool to playing. And if you haven't deposited, they match up to $100. So anywhere from $1 to $100, they'll match. Obviously, you get a free $100. Not too bad. Test out the waters over on Monkey Knife Fight. So let's dive into our 3 plays of the day. Game 1 is going to be a little game more or less pretty straightforward. You take the more or you take the less. And first off, we're going to start at the quarterback position where Patrick Mahomes and Daniel Jones reside. Now, Mahomes' yardage for this Monday night affair is set at 302.5, while Daniel Jones is set at 245.5. So let's take a look at Mahomes first. As great of a fantasy quarterback as he's been, it's been mostly because of touchdowns. The yards have not necessarily been there from Mahomes, as he hasn't topped 300 yards since week 2. And, easy to think the Giants have been bad defensively, but they've been bad defensively against the run. They've been league average against the pass. And, as great as Patrick Mahomes can look against any defense, there's a reason why they've allowed the 8th fewest amount of yards. James Bradbury comes to mind first and foremost. But the Chiefs are 10.5 point favorites here. And if this game is a blowout in the second half and much of the fourth quarter, we could be seeing Mahomes turn around and hand the ball off to Darrell Williams quite a bit here. So I'm actually going to go under on 3.5 or 302.5. I think it's going to be close, but I do not think he goes over. And moving on to Jones, the game script really favors the Giants' passing attack. They're 10.5 point dogs, as I mentioned earlier, in a 52 over-under. The Chiefs are the 31st ranked passing defense according to DVOA, and they're allowing 285 passing yards per game. So I'm going to go over for Jones. I don't think he's going to get 300 yards passing, but 245.5 is very doable. Even with his limited targets, he looked pretty good against Carolina last week. So I'm going to go under on Mahomes and over on Jones. Game number 2 we have is rapid fire. And it's called rapid fire for a reason. So let's spit out these picks quick, okay? We're going to go back to the quarterback position where the Monkey Knife Fight prop is giving a 57.5 yard buffer to Daniel Jones. So whatever his yardage is, plus 57.5, will he have more than Patrick Mahomes or will he have less? I mean, I just said it in the last segment. I think Mahomes goes under 302.5, and I think Jones goes over 245.5. So pretty much, I'm just correlating the picks. I'm gonna take Daniel Jones in the big buffer here because 57.5 is a lot of yards to give up, especially when your game script favors you, and there should be a lot of throwing for the Giants here. So I'm going to take the buffer on Daniel Jones, 57.5 yards. And then the other pick here is Darrell Williams giving away 6.5 yards to Devontae Booker. And, you take a look at Vegas, and it's Williams with a 58.5 yard rushing prop, while Booker's is 50.5. And we're only getting 6.5 yard buffer here, so Vegas knows something that maybe we should take a look at. The Giants' rushing defense, as I mentioned at the top, is poor. And the Chiefs are as well. They rank near the bottom of the league. But the Giants' rush defense is really going to be tested, especially if Kansas City builds an early lead here, which, I think is much expected, to be expected here. So I'm going to actually take Williams over Booker in the 6.5 rushing prop. I think Booker could have a good game in the pass. I think he could catch a lot of dump downs from Daniel Jones, but I do not think the second half of Darrell Williams' just heavy rushing attack is going to allow Booker to catch him. So I'm going to take Williams here. And then let's move on to our final game, the touchdown dance. If I could stand up and Charlie Brown, I would. But I have headphones on. My whole setup would come crashing. It'd be a mess. So we're gonna save you the trouble of watching all that take place. And we're gonna go with just the over 1.5 touchdowns. Okay, it's the base model here, the base projection. And how do you go against Travis Kelce against the Giants? How do you go against Tyreek Hill against the Giants? We mentioned it was going to be a run-heavy attack early or late, but to get there, it's going to be a pass-heavy attack. And Kelce and Hill have a knack to find the end zone. So I'm going to take them, and then you can't go 3 Chiefs, or I would. I'm going to go Devontae Booker here. He's been good scoring. He's just getting into the end zone here. And, whether or not he's successful on the ground, they keep feeding him. He gets the goal line work. And, again, I think he's going to be viable in the passing game. So I am going to go with Kelce, Hill, Booker for over 1.5 touchdowns. And we'll do a little recap in more or less. I'm going under Patrick Mahomes, 302.5 yards, over Daniel Jones, 245.5 yards. For our second game of rapid fire, I'm going to take Daniel Jones with the 57.5 yard buffer against Patrick Mahomes. And then I'm going to take Darrell Williams despite giving away 6.5 yards to Devontae Booker. And then finally, the touchdown dance, as we just alluded to. No Charlie Brown, but yes, Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, Devontae Booker. And that'll do it for our Week 8 Monkey Knife Fight picks. Again, go to fantasyalarm.com/MKF, use code ALARM, and you'll get a free $5 game plus the potential for a $100 deposit match for first-time depositors. Thank you guys for watching. Howard Bender should be back. I know I said this last week. Should be back for Week 9. He's currently fishing, and that's with a PH, not an F. So we will see you guys potentially in Week 9, and if not, good luck with Howard. He's been crushing all year. You don't need much luck with that. It's all skill. But we'll catch you guys later.